Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Yanni Root.
And I'm just Harold. You ever been out somewhere and overheard two people having crazy conversations?
Well, we are those people. We've been having these conversations since college.
Yep, it's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts podcast, The Bachelorette Season 20, Episode 6 recap. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate, and leave a review.
You're like, I'm not reading that part. I just wanted to see if she would be as distracting to you, if Charity, who's on the screen right now for those of you listening, to see if she'd be as distracting to you as she was to all the guys on the show. So,
No? She's beautiful. She's a beautiful girl.
How about this picture? Giving you those eyes.
No.
How about this? Ready to walk down the aisle.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Looks like a cheerleader.
Okay. Well, she was, wasn't she?
I think so.
Yeah, exactly. She was. So that's all good. Well, look, man. Here we are back, and almost didn't make it to this one today. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a rough day, brother. It's been a long day. I've been sitting in front of computers since 4:30 this morning, so it's been a long day.
Hey, but you got to have some of those rough, long days to appreciate the good days. If every day was a good day, then what would be a good day, right?
Then we wouldn't have Ice Cube. Today is a good day. Good point. And the 50th anniversary of hip hop. That is a great point.
There you go.
I'm just waiting for that. I'm waiting for that day to come, though.
You just got to hang in there.
Hey, of course, welcome to everybody joining the live chat and trying to get in there and join the conversation. Just hit that subscribe button and jump in the chat, all right? Because we definitely want your input because we are down to the final four. Joey, Dotun, Xavier, and Aaron B.
Aaron B.
Yeah.
Who is the first hometown time?
Yeah. He's the first one up for the hometown dates. What'd you think about this? Because, they get together first and they meet. She goes, he wishes they were saying or at least talking about the L word before meeting his parents. I mean, is that a necessity? Do you have to be in love before you meet your significant other's parents or the person you're dating's parents?
I've never taken someone to meet my parents that I didn't feel I loved or was in love with. It was never just this is some chick. We're hanging out. It's a Friday. Swing by my mama's house. I've never done that. So
that's because your mama ain't playing that. That's why. If your mama was like, just bring anybody over and we'll eat. You'd be like, well, instead of Applebee's, let's go to mama's house.
No. Everybody doesn't get a chance to meet Florence. That's a big deal.
Damn.
Yeah. So I was curious about this one because it's in Houston. So I'm like, all right, maybe there'll be some things that I recognize, which I did. But Charity's saying that her and Aaron need to use this time to get the spark back that they had on that first date.
Right.
I was doubtful. It's like, how do you do that? How do you get that spark back? But, let's just see what they were able to pull off. But I did like the fact that he said that got to be at that love point before meeting his family, that he's not there. At least he's being honest. So I appreciated his honesty.
Yeah, I will say that. Yeah, definitely. And then, they go to meet his family, and when he walks in, and Charity walks in, it looks like his mama is just happy that Charity is black. She's like, hey, yes, way to go, Aaron.
Well, his family seemed really cool,
They did. They really did.
I mean, they just all seem really cool, and I respected it because, like, my family, we're close, but we're not like that close. And so when you see those families, that's what I would think on TV family, right? I was like, oh, that's really nice.
So are you saying that your brother would not be able to say, well, if he does this, I know he really likes her, and then you actually do it? Because that's what his brother did. His brother called it out, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. Psh, just because you did it doesn't mean I'll be damned, he did it.
I don't think my brother would be able to know if I really like somebody. If I brought someone around him, that's how he knows. So any person I brought to meet my brother in Houston, he knows, okay, Terrell really likes her if he's bringing this girl to Houston.
So you like them if they meet the brother. You love them if they meet mama.
Yes. So you meet the brother first, and then he's like, give me what he thinks. And then after that, you can meet mom. So that's kind of the order.
So there's levels to this, is what you're saying.
There's levels to it. There's levels to it. The more people you get to meet in my life, the more serious the relationship.
You know, one of the things that I thought Aaron's mom did, because I'm assuming that, you know, and this is how moms are with their sons anyway. Moms are going to ask these tough questions and sometimes unfair questions. Like, so if Aaron was to ask you to marry him today, would you say yes? Damn, woman, still got 3 more dates to go on.
But I thought it was a great question. It puts her in the hot seat.
Yeah.
It puts her in the hot seat.
Like,
you know, just to
only
see
hot seat was, how do I say no respectfully?
Yeah, but I mean, I would ask that question. I think that was a great question that she asked. So I didn't see anything wrong with it.
Okay.
And I think Charity kind of maneuvered like a beauty pageant queen, you know, just danced through that question to get out of it.
Yep.
But I liked Eddie, Aaron's dad.
Yeah.
So how'd you feel when she was going on these other dates?
Yes. Let me ask you the real question. Because if your mama,
that's what we'd want to know.
Because if your mama even just thought about going on another date, that was when, you know, his dad is just like, all right, I'm gonna cut through the bullshit. Let's get to it. How'd you really feel? Because you're smiling, you're laughing, you're saying everything's good. Let me know for real.
Right. And I really like the relationship that he has with his dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I really admire that. My dad wasn't around when I first started dating, so I don't have a lot of stories around that. My stepdad did a great job, but we didn't really sit and talk about love and feels. Mm-hmm. But I liked the relationship that he had with his dad, so I thought that was really good.
You know what I noticed? The editors didn't like his sister-in-law though, because they focused in when she started, when Charity brought up that country singer whose name neither of us will remember, and she's like, yes, and then she's there just chewing her mouth open. They focused right in on her chewing her mouth open. I'm like, why would y'all do that? Why would
I did. Of course, you would see something like that. I didn't even catch that. But yes, she did. You didn't hear a word. At least they didn't air a word that she said. So curious what that means. But I think Eric, who's his brother, and Aaron, really good relationship. I thought the overall hometown was a good experience. You know, you had some fried fish and some frog legs, you know, some good Southern food. And then I thought it was nice that Aaron broke out the, what is those Letterman jackets?
I did like that. I thought the personalized Letterman jackets were good. You know, it was a nice touch. And then he added, I think I'm falling in love with you. Even played that crappy ass song we just talked about. And it worked because it got her to feel all good, you know. And I guess it got his, as he said, that was the coup de grace.
I've always said, if you tell someone, I think I'm falling in love with you, and they're just like, aw, come here. Just give me a hug. It's not good.
It's not a good
I just think it's not a good sign. I need to hear at least, I think I'm falling in love with you too, or I feel strongly about you too, something about your feels. But if they don't say anything, I just put that little note in my head. I'm like, that's a sign.
You know, I'm surprised you didn't catch this, and it tells me that you probably like Aaron because you didn't call out his coupe de grace.
His coupe?
That's what he called it. When he said, but that's the real coupe de grace. I'm like, at least
I think Aaron's dope. He has that alpha energy. I don't know if he's an alpha, but I'm like, he has that. I'm like, I like that about him. He has an air about him.
He actually does remind me of an alpha, which is why I actually picked him last week to get the boot, and we'll find out as we get to the as we'll talk about him when we get later.
Because he reminds you of an alpha. It's like he's not gonna make it. He's
not gonna make it. They haven't been doing well on these reality TV dating shows at all.
Wow.
What? Am I lying? Nothing. You could have broken the curse and gone and auditioned for Ready to Love, but you chose not to. Okay, whatever.
No, hard pass.
So next hometown. Oh, and by the way, join the conversation, man. If you we've got it on subscriber mode real quick for the comments in the live chat. So hit the subscribe button and jump in the chat. We would love to hear your take on these hometown visits. Because the second hometown visit was Joey's hometown. And where was this? Because I missed it. You said where?
Collegeville, Pennsylvania.
Okay. It looks promising for Joey when it starts. Because Charity says she's ready to tell Joey that she's falling in love with him because he told her that last week. So were you optimistic or did you feel the setup?
I was optimistic. I was like, okay, let's just see what Joey's going to bring to the table. She seemed really excited to meet him and really wanting to say that she's also falling in love with him. Mm-hmm. I had to laugh when she said that so he takes her on a tennis lesson date, which I thought was great because that's his element.
You had to like that because
that's his element.
Excelled. Exactly.
That's his zone. I'm like, that is what you should do. Mm-hmm. Like if I took a date to a job fair, I'm like, hey baby, watch me work. You know,
you're gonna take a date on an interview. Watch how I make this guy stumble over these questions.
Yeah. Like, hey, welcome to the interview. This is so and so. She's just gonna be observing today. or look at her, give her that wink, be like, watch this.
If you really want to show off, you take her to a firing. Good, you gotta do this.
That would be messed up and illegal, but that'd be messed up. Hey, we're gonna let you
imagine the brownie points you get after.
This is my girlfriend. She's just observing. Babe, look at that. He's crying. Saw that? Told you, right? Told you. I won $5. So we messed up. I couldn't do that. But so when he gets her little outfit, and she says, "Cute plus cuter equals the cutest." I was like, that's the cutest, corniest thing I've ever heard, but do you? But I thought it was a great date up until Uncle Joe shows up.
Yeah, Uncle Joe shows up, senses something's off, and it was interesting when he said that because I was just kind of like, why does he feel that way? What does he feel is off? And then we find out that from Joey that Uncle Joe is the one who taught Joey how to be a man, right? Not his dad. And we know about the things with his dad, but this is one of the things I was interested to see. Once he said that, was his dad even gonna be at the house? Was his dad gonna meet Charity? And yes, she did. He did. She did meet his dad, right? But the thing about it was, I was questioning, is there some sort of animosity there? Because at first I'm like, wait a minute, but where's his dad? I thought his dad was around, right?
No, his dad was in his life. I think his parents got divorced because his dad was gay. But his dad, they worked well as a mixed family the whole time. So I think the dad was been in his life, but Uncle Joe was the one that taught him tennis and was his tennis coach. And so that's what. So
is tennis making him a man? I mean, because the fact that he said Uncle Joe is the one who taught, one of the things he said, he taught me tennis, he taught me how to be a man. Does he have some animosity towards his dad in that space? Like, no, well, you can't teach me how to be a man now.
No, I don't think that's a reach. Okay. I don't think that at all. I don't think
it's a reach. Just the way he said that.
I don't think that at all. It's just because maybe that coach athlete relationship that was also a family member. And you got the coach that's going to tell you,
spending more time with him.
Toughen up, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm going to start hitting some balls at you. Let's go. So maybe that is
that's where he got those good reflexes. Because when Charity hit the ball at him, he ducked out the way really fast. He was like Terrence Crawford. Yeah. I was going to work a Terrence Crawford reference in there at some point.
Of course. I know you're going to keep that going until his next fight, I'm sure. But to me, it seemed like Charity was vibing more with Joey than we see her with some of the other guys.
Right.
And so I'm just watching this whole interaction and I'm thinking that this is great. I thought the tennis thing was good. And then they get to go to his family's house and meet the Fockers.
And I laughed. Cheers. I'm not going to lie. They look like them. the problem I have with everything seemed good. Everybody liked Charity. Charity liked everybody. I mean, she had her big fake cheerleader smile on the whole time, and then she sat down with Uncle Joe, and he shattered that smile because he just literally kicked Joey off the cliff. Like, nah, get off. What the hell was going on here?
Uncle Joe sure did, and what I respect about Uncle Joe is he said the same thing to Joey's face.
Yes.
That he said to Charity. So he's not being two-faced at all. He's just being himself. But I think that Joey, when Uncle Joe talked to Joey and said, "Hey, are you like being your true self? Because I've seen you try to be someone else for somebody." Maybe I thought it was a good call out and it was real. But when he met with Charity and said it, all that put all the pause that the momentum that they've had, and that shut it all down for Charity.
That's the problem I have. I'm glad you said that to Joey. Y'all have that kind of relationship. But why say it to her?
He's just being honest. And sometimes you need those people in your camp that, hey, look, I'm just going to shoot you straight. Whether it's you or anyone else, I'm just going to shoot you straight.
Not to the woman that I am dating. Are you crazy? What is wrong with you? Matter of fact, I'm changing my name to Jeffrey now because I'm not going to be Joey and you Joe, Uncle Joe, because this is messed up. He threw him under the bus, threw him off the cliff, ran over him. Plain and simple.
I don't think he did. I think he said exactly what he said, because you got to figure what he said to Joey was going to be on air, on camera. It's going to come out that he said it.
At least wait till he wins. Jesus.
He said the same thing. So he was consistent, but why was the mom so emotional, when Joey was talking with her? And then the other thing I didn't like about this is that, I'll save that for when we get to the end of this date, because I need to call this part out.
What the end of the date? Well, let's get to it, because just because of what Uncle Joe did, Joey and Charity, when they say goodbye, she's saying goodbye. And he's like, what the hell just happened?
Yes, that's what I felt like. It's almost like she's prepping him that, hey, this is not going to work out.
Right.
So I'm going to slowly leave you. Quiet quitting, as they call it on LinkedIn, right? I'm quietly quitting this relationship is what I thought. But what I didn't like is that was her moment that she was supposed to tell Joey that I'm falling in love with you too, and she held it back.
Yeah.
But she said it to his sister. So when she had one-on-one time with Carly, she told Carly, I'm falling in love with him. So you told the sister, but you didn't tell Joey.
Right.
What do you think is going to happen when he goes back into the house? Because Carly's going to say, well, I thought it went great. She said she's falling in love with you.
Was that before?
Like, she didn't tell me that.
Did she tell Carly that before or after she talked to Uncle Joe?
Before.
Well, that's why.
I get it,
Uncle
but still,
Joe kicked Joey off the cliff.
But you already said it. If you already said it,
geez,
if you do think you're falling in love with Joey, tell him that. That was the moment. I think Joey was wanting that.
Till Uncle Joe was like, "Wake up, girl."
Well, what I wonder is, I'm sure that conversation on the bench was a lot deeper, and she probably brought up what Uncle Joe said, and they just cut it, because I couldn't understand why all of a sudden she started crying. Yeah. And then she was saying, I don't want to leave. I'm going to miss your family. So to me, it felt like a big signal. So I get why Joey was like, I don't know what just happened. Right. She's in tears, and I'm thinking this was great. I don't know how to respond.
Well, next we go to the land, and Xavier, which, did you notice that she actually called him Xavier at one point in time?
No, I did not.
I did catch that. But Xavier, he was in Cleveland. And of course, they go knitting. And surprise, they found the only other black man that knits and put him on camera too. Or at least he got the back of his head.
Well, if this is Xavier's thing, great. And I mean, that's a unique date if you think about it. Mm-hmm. How unique is a knitting date, right? It's no booze involved. It's just, this is his passion, and this is why he does it. So I see nothing wrong with that date. Now, I've been wanting to see what this at home was going to be like, or hometown was going to be like for Charity, because Xavier reminds her of her exes that things didn't go well. Xavier to me has that Kappa energy about him. That, yeah, he seems like he's all great, but Make sure he doesn't hang around your friends.
Wait a minute. So was it Xavier that reminded of the ex, or was it? I thought it was Aaron that reminded her of her
Nope,
ex.
Xavier.
It was Xavier. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Xavier reminds of her ex. And so I thought it was great. Bring her to a knitting date. It's kind of your world, which again, that's his comfort zone. He's been there before.
Right.
So, I thought that was good.
What did you think when Xavier said to Charity, "You're about to meet the most important people in my life"? Because I felt like the part they cut out was where he said, "So don't do no ghetto shit."
I think it's important to say, because again, if I take somebody to meet my family, that's a big deal. Everybody just doesn't get a chance to do this. So this is a huge thing. And so I respect him for doing that. Now, what Charity was concerned about earlier in that date is when Xavier last week told her about he's scared of commitment.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that she brought that up with him.
Right.
And that they had that conversation before they went to go meet the parents.
It's it was interesting when she walked in with the family. Like,
yeah,
they like this immediately. Everybody, it seems like it was instant chemistry. She loved the family loved her, and all was well.
It did. I mean, it just seemed like a great family, and all the families seem that way. And I'm sure every family is that way at first. So, I wouldn't expect anything less. I mean, I just said, like, my family's not this super close knit as they portray on TV, but could we pull that off for cameras? Yeah, totally could.
Hey, don't y'all, look, y'all are very important to me, and so is this show. Don't do no ghetto shit.
So I think the family interaction was good. Their chemistry together with the family, they really looked like a good couple. So I thought that was positive. And so first up, Chelsea pulls Charity aside, and Charity said that she feels like she's in between and falling in love for Xavier, which is positive, more than what she said about Aaron.
Yeah, true. Very true. They had good convo, and especially she really gelled with his sister in that space, to the point that even when Xavier asked them, well, what'd you think? And she's just like, no, I love her. He goes, well, she loves Charity more than me. And I'm like, wait a minute. Dude.
He was excited.
Okay,
he was
whatever.
Excited.
I've never been that excited to sound like that.
Well, he was excited, but I thought it was great to see the connection between him and his mom. With his mom having MS, and just see how that passion and love for her is there, and the love that the father has for his family and all that. I thought the whole thing was great. Now, Xavier's dad is talking to Xavier, and Xavier said he feels like he can get there with Charity when it comes to the whole love stuff, and say for her to be the one. So the dad said he's feeling something, but whether that's love or not, I'm not sure.
Feeling something. There's a rumbling down there.
Yeah, there's something he's feeling, but I don't know if it's love. But honestly, I feel like Xavier is waiting to get his family's approval.
Right.
To say, you know what? Okay, y'all like her? Really? She's good? Okay, then yes. I'm falling in love. That's what I feel happened with Xavier, that he needed his family to kind of hype him up, to be like, why would you not fall in love with her?
They did, because he goes out there with her and doesn't even say the whole I think. He's just, I'm falling in love with you. And she goes, oh, goodness. Here,
oh, my goodness. Exactly.
Suck my face before you ask me another question like, how do I feel?
That's the response I want when I tell them I'm falling in love with you. Oh, my goodness. Come here. Nope. Nope. Not at all.
Only thing she didn't do was give him the church hug.
Yeah. Oh, bless your heart.
Oh my God! Oh, you got to almost feel bad. But then we get to the next hometown, right?
Yep.
Dotton, and it's kind of a letdown for Charity at first, because he tells her, like, look, my mom and dad, they do this every year, 4 to 6 weeks. They go to Nigeria. We're filming within that 4 to 6 week window, so they ain't gonna be there. But you'll get to meet some of the other family who's excited to meet you.
Yeah. And I even made note. I was like, okay, well, couldn't they FaceTime? Couldn't they do something,
Hmm.
while they're in Nigeria? But I was just, hey, whatever. And so he's out there meeting with the siblings, and the family seems great.
Hmm.
And then lo and behold, who shows up?
Yep.
The parents, which I thought was awesome surprise.
It was, and especially for him. If he knew they were coming, he's a great actor, and he should make millions of dollars because he played that off very well. But the surprise that he had about them being there, I thought it was just so genuine and was really, like it meant a lot to him, and I like that. Even though it made him nervous because he knew his mom was gonna lay down the law, which I didn't really think she did though.
I don't think she did. If she did, it wasn't on anything that was maybe somewhere on the cutting room floor, and we just missed it.
Right.
But I think Charity would have, it would have been a deal breaker
Hmm.
if she didn't get a chance to meet his parents. And I'd probably be the same way. If I was the Bachelor and I'm going to hometowns, I'm getting a chance to meet your parents. I can't say you're my final rose, and I still haven't met your mom and dad yet because I need to
You
know
got
what
the
I'm going to get myself
grandmother.
into.
You got the sister who loves you, who's like, oh yes, that's when you say, have you ever had Nigerian food? Yes, my best friend is Nigerian. Oh, that's right, I remember her. She knows her, so she's watched her before.
I'm just saying, I would still want to meet the parents. So I'm glad that they did. I thought Doughton's family, Dotton's family is
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
I just like the whole dynamic of the whole group.
and the gifts they gave her
And
too, because they gave her some
yeah,
great gifts.
gave her some great gifts, and everybody confirmed Dotton is ready
Hmm.
to be married. Dotton is ready for this process.
Right.
Dotton doesn't cheat. Dotton doesn't look at anybody when he's in a relationship. I
He's
mean,
got blinders.
everybody was just right on point with what they were saying for Dotton, and the mom even liked her and said, "Hey, you're my daughter-in-law,
Wow.
and I'm gonna fly you to Nigeria. We're gonna do a big wedding. It's gonna be big."
Yeah, you can do this. You can do this little pity pat wedding over here for the Bachelorette, but we're gonna go to Nigeria and show you how we really do it.
Exactly. So I thought that was good, and then of course Dotton has to kick it up a notch. A notch. You get the convertible Thunderbird and take her
Yeah.
to a drive-in
Yes.
and rent out the whole drive-in. I thought, man, that dude is game is tight.
Oh yeah. It was a great idea, great concept. I thought it was way better than knitting. You know. So I thought it was good, and the fact that he pulled out the baby pictures and pictures of them together. So I thought that was good. You know, like hey, this story still has a lot. It's the beginning has been written, but there's a lot more to go and a lot more for us to do together. I thought it was because even when he talked about as we say that, remember when he brought up the fact that he bungee jumped, and the family was like, you did what?" He almost had to explain. Wait. You know, I like to try new things. So this is them. They did some things that neither of them had done before, and I
Right.
think that's why I think that movie made so much sense for them. And then the fact that she said she liked driving. Was it her parents?
Her dad used to talk about how took his mom to the drive-in,
Right.
or took her mom to the
Her mom
drive-in.
to drive it. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. That significance, showing he paid attention to what she was saying,
Hmm.
and he's invested. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. So I think all in all, good at homes
Mhm.
or hometown visits. I was curious who she was going to wind up eliminating because she only had 3 roses to give,
Mhm.
and she has 4 guys. And I'm
Well,
like, this is going to be interesting.
before she got to the guy, she had to sit down with Jesse, and he's asking her all these questions, right? And it is Jesse, right? I'm
It's Jesse.
Jesse Palmer, yeah, the former football player, quarterback. So she says she's falling in love, as he brings up everybody, and she's falling in love with everybody, all the guys. Although she didn't tell any of them that,
Right.
but she tells him.
Right. Which I am curious how this show works. How do y'all fall in love so quick? Because if you just look at what they show us, the dates don't seem that long.
Right.
And even if they were a full day, right? That means each guy had maybe 2 full days of dates
Right.
up until this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, how do you fall in love and say that. But of course, it's reality TV. You just can't be like, she cool. We'll see
Yeah.
what happens. You got to say it.
Okay, but here's my problem. How do you fall in love with 4 people, then choose one, and expect that one to believe you're really all about them? If you, as you say, are genuinely falling in love with 4 people at the same time,
Yeah.
it's different than just dating 4 people.
Yeah.
It's different than tonguing down 25 people that you that you've been doing on the show this whole time. You're falling in love with 4. What's going to stop you at one point or another from thinking about one of these other people if you choose me?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. If you talk about Ready to Love and the concept of Ready to Love, I need to hear your take on this for The Bachelorette, because this is horrible.
It's the concept of the show that you're eliminating people. And so, but think of it in real life. You could be, you meet 2 people at the same time, you go on dates with both of them, and eventually you narrow down the one that you want to talk to. And
you
you
fall in love
hope
with
that
both
you
of them?
picked the right one. Is it possible to fall in love with 2 women? Yeah, sure. I'm sure it's possible to fall in love with 2 people. But you still wind up picking the one that you feel like you have a future with.
Is that before or after sex? Because usually
No, I just think you pick the one you feel you have
a while.
I think you feel the one that you have a future with, that this could be more than just what this is right now. And maybe that's what you do in this process. I'm not too sure, but she has 4 guys stand there, 3 roses.
Yep.
And I'm at the edge of my seat trying to figure out, okay, is it who I said that she was going to let go? Or is it who other people in the comment section of our previous videos said who she was going to let go?
Right. Because Dotton gets the first rose.
Yep.
As expected. I mean, we've said that he's probably the guy at the end of this, right? And then, were you surprised when Xavier got the rose?
No. Because for her, Xavier's like an old sneaker. It's comfortable. I know this. I've dated this. I've worn this before. This makes sense.
I will say this, because for some reason when this started, I thought Aaron was the one I was thinking of from last week. Because last week I said Xavier was going to be gone because that's the one that she knew. No, it's time to cut ties with that old sneaker. It's time to toss them sneakers out. That you'll never get them back to white again. Okay, just toss it out, buy a new pair. And I thought that's what she was going to do. And so I was kind of shocked when she did, even only because that was my call last week. But looking at their date, I was like, okay. But then she did hit him with the, oh, goodness. So therefore, when he hit that I'm falling in love with you thing, it was still kind of a shock.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was. But I figured Xavier was going to make it to the next round. And so that leaves Aaron B. and Joey. And so
they couldn't. They couldn't do it. Go ahead.
Well, I was sitting there watching this. I'm like, with her concern she has about Joey, well, is this going to be the end for him? And she's going to want to keep an Aaron or not? And then names does she call for that last rose? Joey.
I told you this last week though. Joey has to be in the final 3. They're not going to go with the all black cast on the Black Bachelorette. It's not going to happen.
I could see that, but maybe she has something with Joey.
She does though.
Yeah.
She just got to get past what Uncle Joe did when he tried to to kind of throw, like, okay, see, I'm not the only one who thought this. Look, Karen says Joe threw Joey under the bus. See, when, like I said, Uncle Joe threw Joey under the bus, and Melanie says I agree. Uncle Joe did throw Joey off the cliff. Uncle Joe is a hater.
Well, here's the thing. I think that she picked the 3 that she liked. What I didn't like about the ending is, why are you going to walk Aaron out? Because what could you possibly say to Aaron that's going to make any of this okay? And as she kept talking, it's like, yeah, I'm sure I know none of this is helping. Yes, it's not. Stop talking. Just
why are you blaming her? Everybody. One thing I noticed when we watched The Bachelor the first time, we're like, "Yo, Matt James is so cold. Let me walk you out." Come to find out, that's what they do. Let me walk you out. That's the line. Let's go. Right. So walk him out, kick him in the ass, and tell him get in the car and get on. But
I think walk him out just to be like, "Hey, all right then."
Exactly. But it's his fault. He should have. Why do you sit down get your ass in the car and go? There's nothing you're gonna say that's gonna make her say, you know what? You're right. I've got a 4th rose. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. What are you doing? Get in the car, cry in the car. That's what you need to do. Just get in the car and cry in the car. Go. He did it
I
anyway.
don't, I don't have a fourth rose, but I have this 4-leaf clover because I want you to know you're special. Now, I want to know, because when he got in the car and he's just like, I just don't understand what I did. As he was saying that, I'm thinking to myself, I know what happened. You didn't do it, but your dad made frog legs. You can't bring this fried frog legs to anybody. I'm sorry. If I go to someone's house and they break out, we're having catfish and fried frog legs, I'm like, this is not going to work out.
Why? She said, "Oh man, y'all know how to. That's the way to my heart."
Yeah, that's what she said in front of all them. But we didn't see her eat a frog leg, did we? Have you had frog legs before?
Okay, that I remember.
I tried. I was in New Orleans at this restaurant. I don't remember the name of the restaurant, but they had a seafood platter. Part of the seafood platter was fried frog legs. And I was like, you know what? I'll give this a shot. And I remember I picked up the fried frog leg, and a piece of the crust came off, and I can see that green skin. And all I could think of is like the Warner Brothers frog, the WB frog.
On the WB.
I was just like, I just can't do it. So I've never done frog legs. So if someone brings out some frog legs to me, I'm not going to be in your family. This is a norm. Y'all do frog legs? Is it Frog Leg Friday? Is it just, how do you just do fried frog legs? No.
I don't think I've ever had. I know in Montserrat we had mountain chicken, which is technically frogs. These big frogs, but yeah, I don't think I've ever had them. I've had rabbit, but yeah,
I've had rabbit. Rabbit's delicious, but
tastes
frog
like
legs, I just couldn't do it. And so I'm thinking maybe that's why. But now, I want to know, did you pick up a spoiler that might lead you to believe who is going to be the final guy?
I think the way they're trying to play it to us is that Aaron is going to be the final guy. But I think Aaron's the next one.
Aaron got kicked off.
Aaron got kicked. I mean Xavier. That Xavier's going to be the final guy. But Xavier's about to be the next one kicked off. Because we've already said Dotun and Joey are going to be the finalists, right? Mm-hmm. Is that the one that you're thinking, that spoiler?
No, well, the spoiler for me is Dotun is going to be the guy. Yeah. And here's why. When they went to the drive-in movies and he had the little video show and the baby pictures of her, where'd he get that shit? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Where'd he get that? And then the mom was like, no, you're my daughter-in-law. And I'm going to like, no, they're overselling that. I feel like those two things right there, the fact that the mom was just all in, you're my daughter-in-law. That's how I see you. And I'm taking you to Nigeria. And then Dotun, as a surprise, he was able to get baby pictures. Like, who do you reach out to for that? To producers? Hey, can you reach out to his family, get some baby pictures for me? Because here's all I want to do. To me, that is the spoiler for me that says I think Dotun's going to be the guy at the end.
Okay, I thought you were talking about from the previews for next week, because the previews showed quite a bit and a lot of excitement coming next week, unless they let us down. But Fox them said, Dotun's family understood the assignment. That's all it was. That's why she said, look, Mama was like, you're my daughter-in-law. I'm going to take you to Nigeria. Yes, play that up. Make those promises. Do like everybody else and make these promises you don't intend to keep.
Bring it to the motherland.
And Jay Blake has a great question. Who do you think came back? Because you see somebody comes back next week. Who do you think?
I think it'll be Aaron.
That's what Donna says too.
I think it'll be Aaron, because I mean it can't be. You'd want to say it's going to be what's his name? What's Toolbag's name?
I can't remember his name. I just guess you said that too.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, just what's the...
Was it his name? Oh, my God. Braden,
yeah. Or college Sigma Phi hair salon. Braden.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being him at this point. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking maybe Aaron, but...
So N says, by the way, the show put that video together. He really didn't have anything to do with that. Yeah, which is what I thought. That's where they got the baby. They asked her for baby pictures. They asked him for baby pictures. They put that together. And
but did they ask everybody for baby pictures? They just
probably did.
No, they know it's Dotun. It's Dotun. That's just...
All right, to be on the show, here's what you pack, and bring some goddamn baby pictures. Ask your mama for some baby pictures. Speaking of mamas, Jay Blake pointed out something here that Dotton's mom gave Charity some beads for honeymoon night.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, what kind of beads are these that we're talking about? Because I only know of one beads that's for the bedroom, and I was just like, that's really presumptuous, Mom. That you're gonna pass
Well,
out
I've seen the
those
show
kind of
before.
beads.
You like to kiss on guys, so I'm sure you do. There's some other things you do here. These beads will help you clean.
Wow. And I'm the one drinking whiskey.
Hey, this water is amazing.
I know. I'm just like, wow. Normally it's me that says the crazy things, but it's you tonight.
No, it's still you.
I feel like I'm on my best behavior. Well, we'll see what happens. We're down to the final 3.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what happens with that group.
Oh, speaking of which, I had started this earlier, and I meant to come back to it and had said this earlier. Charity and Aaron may have gotten that first date spark back, but they should have been well past that by now. That's why she let him go.
True. I mean, they couldn't do the bring that first date spark back after all this time and all the dates and all the connections she's had with the people. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't going to be there. But I still think the deal breaker, the straw that broke the camel's back, fried frog legs.
You're not going to let that go.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Fried frog legs. That's what did it.
We'll be back next Tuesday, and we should be at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central on the WB. Sorry, he brought that up again, man. Why'd you do that to me?
You're welcome.
We're singing that crap all night. My wife is going to hate you for that. I just want to point that out.
You're welcome. It's something I do. I have this thing I call song bombing. So I was in Houston Thursday, and I'm at the corporate office, and I had Soul for Real, Candy Rain in my head.
Uh-oh.
And I just couldn't stop. And so I ran up to a couple as I'm getting ready to leave. I'm like, hey, are you familiar with that song Candy Rain? They're like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, by Soul for Real. I'm like, I can't get that song out of my head, so I'm just gonna sing it and get in your head. It's like, no, don't. And I just looked at them. My love, do you ever? And so then it was stuck in their heads too. Mission accomplished. So I do that. I like to put songs in people's heads. So you're welcome for that, WB. Tell your wife I said you're welcome as well.
Oh, on that note, I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm Just Terrell.
Make sure you follow us at Yanni Rude, at Just Terrell, and at RGRT Pod.
Yeah, send us some of your random thoughts, some of the bullshit you find on the internet. We'll talk about it on the show.
It's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast. Cheers.
Cheers.
I think I almost knocked my mic out just now.